Hey, thanks for joining me for another episode of Take a Deep Breath with Yvonne Daniels podcast. I am your well-being girlfriend, Yvonne Daniels, and this week we're talking about Clutter Awareness Week. Man, let me tell you, something I deal with on a regular basis. So, of course, I encourage you to embrace the power of giving your body permission to relax for better choices, health, and wealth, one deep breath at a time. All you need is an open heart and an open mind and a willingness to grow and to go. Uh, over this way, we're all about changing health narratives and leaving health legacies. And of course, we talk about that wealth that, we all need to know about, the different types of the money and all that. But we've got wealth inside of us, which is our health. The health is the wealth that we're born with. And of course, we want to make sure that we are being a good steward of that. That means getting enough sleep. That means accepting responsibility for our own well being, taking as many deep breaths as we need to, tuning into our bodies and moving our bodies. So, Matt, how are you doing today?
Hey, what up, though? How are you doing today?
I am doing well. And baby, let me tell you this, what we're talking about today is something that I deal with on a regular basis. So yeah, a little excited to get into it because I feel like every time I go over this information, I'm just kind of, you know, for lack of a better word, preaching to myself. Don't want to use the word preaching, but just really helping myself as well. So, man, you know how we start every episode?
With a deep breath.
Let's go. Come on in. And out. And I'm telling you, just finished talking to a friend of mine who was telling me about some stuff they were going through. And I'm like, girl, take a deep breath. And she's like, yeah, you know what? That is a way to deal with it. She did it. And she was like, okay, I think I'm going to definitely implement that. So I just encourage you to do it. All right. And I have to take many deep breaths when I'm dealing with what we're talking about today. So we are still in the month of March. This full third week of March is dedicated to clutter. It is Clutter Awareness Week. So, Matt, I have to ask you, do you deal with clutter in your life? Are you like a clutter bug, as they like to call it?
Well, what do you mean by a clutter bug?
Well, someone that, just has clutter around and it's hard to kind of process through the clutter, and you find yourself with little pockets of clutter like around wherever you are at your home, in your home, maybe your office, your car.
I guess not really. I
Okay,
mean, I'm
good for
usually
you.
pretty, like, I have my stuff together,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm pretty neat.
Okay.
My biggest thing is like, I like to know where things are
Mm,
to a certain extent, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say that I'm like not really a clutter bug, if
Okay.
that makes sense.
It does. And I know where stuff is, but it's like it's like in a pile. It's like I have pockets of clutter, and it's something that does bother me, but I have to, I guess I'm steadily trying to work through that. So if that is you, this episode is for you. If you know someone that's like that, this episode is for you. So good for you, Matt, that you are not someone that's challenged with this. But Clutter Awareness Week is observed annually to raise awareness about the impact of clutter and promote strategies for decluttering both physical and mental spaces. And so I guess I should include that as well. So I deal with more of the physical clutter. Some people may deal with mental clutter. So this week is meant to kind of focus on both of those. So Clutter Awareness Week is designed once again to highlight the often overlooked issue of clutter, which can negatively affect productivity, mental health, and overall well being. Of course, that's our word, right? So, clutter can be physical, as I just mentioned, such as unnecessary items in your home or your office, or mental, including negative thoughts, habits, or relationships. All right. So, the goal is to encourage you to identify and remove excess baggage to create a calmer, more organized life. That's what we are all about over this way. It encourages you to take action to declutter the spaces that can lead to improved productivity, of course, reduce stress. It serves as a reminder to evaluate your environment and eliminate unnecessary items that may be causing chaos and distraction in your life. All right. So, definitely thinking about that. The benefits of decluttering for your physical health: it reduces the risk of accidents and makes spaces safer, especially if you're someone that is older, if you know and have someone older around you or in your home. This is going to help with that. We know, of course, sometimes when people get older, there tend to be more opportunities to fall and to have mishaps. So if you don't have as much clutter, it's going to prevent that from happening as much, which we love. All right. So the mental health part: less clutter can lower your stress. We love that. It can reduce anxiety, and it can improve your focus. And of course, with the emotional well being side, letting go of items or negative influences can provide a sense of relief and accomplishment. And for the productivity piece, clearing clutter, I should say, helps save time and allows better organization of tasks and priorities. And, it stays on my mind all the time when I see that the clutter is getting out of control. And I'm telling you, when I reduce it, when I really think about, what's going on with these little pockets of clutter, and it may be something that I just am having a hard time letting go of, because I'm really big on thinking I may need something at a later date, and it may be 2 years later, and it's like, but I still may need it. It's like, but Yvonne, you haven't even used it in 2 years, so just let it go. So it's those kinds of things physically for me. And so sometimes this can be relationships, though, and thoughts can be handled the same way. So uh, there are great ways to help with this, practical ways to observe Clutter Awareness Week, decluttering your physical spaces. So, sorting through items at home or at work, deciding what to keep, what to donate, what to recycle, or discard. Managing that paper clutter, organizing documents, bills, and office materials to reduce overwhelm. And a lot of that with me is what happens. I realized that with a lot of my paper bills, and I'm doing better, just to go paperless. When they first started offering the paperless thing, I was like, nope, because I'm just so stuck on and just so used to paper bills. But going paperless is not so bad, and it can help to reduce the clutter. So professional organizers suggest with dealing with this whole clutter and participating in Clutter Awareness Week to start small, which is a great suggestion, focusing on one area at a time and setting realistic goals to avoid feeling overwhelmed, because that can happen with the quickness. So awareness of personal clutter patterns such as impulsive buying, that can be a clutter part of clutter as well. You may not think of that, but impulsive buying or holding on to unnecessary items. If you're an overspender, if you're buying, always buying stuff, of course, you're going to accumulate clutter in the stuff that you're buying that you may not always need, and holding on to unnecessary items, like I spoke of, that I'm working through and trying to make sure that I'm letting go of that stuff. It can help maintain a clutter-free environment beyond this Clutter Awareness Week, which is the goal. This is want to make it a lifestyle change. I love that word and that phrase. So focusing on areas that impact your daily life the most, such as your kitchen or your workspace. And I have to, full transparency, my kitchen, I'm doing a really good job. I've just, a lot of it for me is just being very, very intentional and really, really, just throughout the day, and whenever I'm at home, whenever I'm in my kitchen, just knowing that having a clear space, an uncluttered space really does reduce my stress, my anxiety. I just love looking at it. It just puts me in a really, really good place. So knowing that is the goal and that is a part of what I like feeling when my space is uncluttered really helps me to stay intentional about my kitchen. So now I'm trying to move it to some other areas. So you want to set goals and timelines, breaking down the task into manageable chunks and realistic deadlines to avoid feeling overwhelmed. So when we're talking about donating things, some of our professional organizers suggest that, and I do this maybe not as often as I should, but when I do it, it just feels so good to get it off Goodwill. If you have your Goodwill, they accept clothing, furniture, and household items. I would call ahead before trying to get rid of furniture and household items, because all of them may not accept that, but most of the ones that I know do accept clothing. Your Salvation Army, they take more oversized items like furniture and appliances. So you're going to be better off if you have a Salvation Army in your area. They definitely accept those furniture and appliance items. Habitat for Humanity restores. They accept building materials and home goods. That's so good to know. And when you're preparing items for donation, make sure that those items are clean and that they are in good condition. And once again, like I said, you also want to make sure that you are calling ahead for that. All right. So Organizing your paperwork, addressing that paper clutter, sorting through those documents, which may be the biggest thing, is to allot time for going through your items, going through your bills. And full transparency, I have some stuff from several years ago. I put them, they're in bags and stuff, but I just need to get rid of that stuff. And I do think that, and I know that actually, when you're trying to sort through things, when you're trying to shred your items, um, if I had a bigger shredder, it probably would go better for me. But you want to sort through your items, your documents, organize them into manageable categories, make time to do this. And of course, you want to make sure that you may want to get with someone to actually determine how long you need to keep certain items. Some items, with your taxes and your bills and all that kind of stuff, you may need to keep for a certain amount of time. But after that time is over with, you can safely get rid of that stuff. You don't have to hang on to it. And mindfulness practices. It is suggested to engage in mindfulness activities like meditation or long walks, which I love to do. That helps to clear your mental clutter. And I don't know if we focus as much on mental clutter, but that is definitely a thing. And so those long walks, that meditation can help to clear your mental clutter and can promote a sense of calm. And then it is suggested also to participate in local events or workshops that are focused on decluttering and organization, which can provide motivation and support. And so I'm telling you, I've known of different activities and events that will help to do that. Even when you're sorting things, even when you're doing like vision boards, that can help to kind of get that clutter out of your head and onto paper, onto whatever you're using for your vision board. That kind of thing is just so helpful. It's wonderful. And it's great to be able to do that alone. But community, when you're involved in a community and you have, it's like a support system. So to be able to do those kinds of things in community really just kind of amps it up so much. So I tell you what, I think just kind of the lesson here is to start small, is to be intentional, to understand the type of clutter that you're dealing with, because I think all of us at some point in time are dealing with some type of clutter, be it physical, be it mental. Man, I tell you what, being it you trying to get all that stuff out of your head onto paper, we're dealing with it, and there are ways that we can deal with it. And of course, to be in community, to deal with it with each other, especially with the mental part, is really, really good. So in conclusion, as we continue to highlight and celebrate Clutter Awareness Week, I think the goal is to try and be intentional and take these practices and turn them into lifestyle changes as much as we can, so that we can last beyond this Clutter Awareness Week and once again make it a lifestyle change. So Clutter Awareness Week serves as an excellent opportunity to reflect on our living and our working environments and take proactive steps to create a more organized and peaceful space. That's going to reduce your stress and make it more calm. We love that. By participating in this week, we can experience the benefits of a decluttered life, leading to improved mental health and productivity and physical health too. So we love that. All right. So hopefully you will take some of these practices, these ideas, and put them into practice. Be intentional so that we can be more decluttered, if that's the statement. So we can celebrate and highlight a Clutter Awareness Week by not being as cluttered. So thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Take a Deep Breath with Yvonne Daniels podcast. I appreciate you. Be sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. And be sure to check us out at Deep Breath and Taste Buds at blogspot.com. Matt, I didn't forget. How do we end every episode?
With the deep breath.
Let's go. Come on in and out. Thanks for joining me for this episode, and I'll see you in the next episode.